Do you ever look at scraping a site, spend hours trying one way only to fail and then have someone else do it in just a few minutes? I see this a lot myself and lived it whilst I was learning. But because knowing is half the battle, I want to show you my 3 go-to methods that will let you scrape most sites. We'll cover what they are, why they work and when to use them, and talk about the packages required and the reasons behind those choices. I'll explain the downsides to each method and why even knowing these, there are still cases where anti-scraper protection will stop you. I'm going to add in a bonus point right at the end too to try and improve my YouTube retention graph. This video is sponsored by PROXIES, friends of the channel and the proxies I use myself. Whenever I'm scraping data, I always use a proxy, as when it comes to running your code consistently, you need to know you aren't going to be blocked. With PROXIES, we have access to 10 million plus proxies, all with unlimited concurrent sessions and from countries all over the globe, enabling us to scrape quickly and efficiently. I use a variety of proxies depending on the situation, but I'd recommend you start out with residential ones. But make sure you select countries that are appropriate to the site you're trying to scrape and match your own country where possible. But to be fair, I've had great success recently with the mobile proxies, finding them to be very useful for region-specific data collection. Either way, it's still only one line of code to add to your project, and then we can let PROXIES handle the rest. And also, any traffic you purchase is yours to use whenever you need, as it doesn't ever expire. So if this all sounds good to you, go ahead and check out PROXIES at the link in the description below. Now, on with the video. What's so special about these 3 and why am I showing you them? Well, in my experience, they are the most useful and versatile options that cover the most ground and provide a foundation to give you a better chance at scraping the data you need. You see, when I was growing up and going out, there was this curious thing where bouncers and doormen wouldn't let you into a bar in trainers. You had to be wearing shoes. The rest of your outfit didn't really seem to matter, but the shoes did. It made no sense to me, and you'd often see people trying to cheese the system. I even saw one guy put his black socks over his white trainers to fool the doorman. The point is that when we learn to web scrape, we make clear and obvious requests. We tell the server exactly who we are, and from it, it's easy to stop us entering. The first method I'm going to talk about is a variation of this, except with one key change. We need to use our socks to cover our trainers. You see, plain requests made with any standard HTTP client, even if you have added in more realistic headers, still have a telltale sign that is more and more sites are employing checking out, and that's your TLS fingerprint. Modern browsers' TLS fingerprints are very, very different than a simple HTTP client, and the difference is very obvious and detectable, and it will stop you right in your tracks, regardless of your good intentions at the bar. I'd recommend reading up on TLS fingerprinting and then starting to use an HTTP client that offers you the option to cover your tracks in this regard. The best are built out of Bogdafin's Go TLS client, include Python options like curl CFFI and TLS-client, amongst others. This gets us the best chance to get in the door with a standard request, and once we're in, how you pass the data is up to you. My advice here is generally to search the HTML source for JSON data or a JSON schema to help grabbing already struck data. If the messy HTML tags are the ingredients on a shelf, the structured schema is the finished dish ready to eat. If that method is like walking in the front door, then this one's more like pretending to be the cleaner and going in the staff entrance. We would have easy access. We could get straight to the bar and get exactly what we wanted right away. See, a lot of modern websites are split into a front end and a back end, with the latter serving the data up for the front end application to make pretty colors and make us click I agree and frivolously click on close on thousands of adverts. Pretty sure that's all they're for. So we scope out the place and we notice there's a single side entrance, and this is our dev tools showing us that the request made to the front end from the back end, and that's where we want to go to. So we copy it, we make the same request, and we see what happens. Well, we find out the door isn't locked and it leads us right into the side of the bar. We get a drink, but we do pay, of course. We're not stealing, and everything there is available to the public. We just jump the queue. You'd be surprised how often the site's backend API is easily accessed and found. Sometimes you need headers and cookies. Other times it's just a plain request and that works. This is definitely one of my preferred methods, and I've got loads of videos about it on my channel, as we can get more data with less requests, so less data transferred, and as it's an API, it's almost always JSON. So win-win, structured data gained and less traffic used. But sometimes neither of those options will work, or if they're not available, I will go all out. I'll just buy new shoes, I'll wait my turn at the queue for the bar, but this is my least favorite option, as the goal was to get a quick drink, get in and get out. So browser automation has jumped forwards a lot in the last few years, which is why when I see this talked about beginners and people complaining it doesn't always work, is because they're probably using the wrong tools. You bought shoes that you can't walk in. There's lots of options for scraping specific browsers out there, so stay away from plain Playwright or Selenium, unless of course they work for you, and then that's fine, but they are designed for testing and they're about as stealthy as wearing your snowboard boots to town. The issue here is that it's a bit of an arms race. This means more cutting edge tooling that's subject to change a lot. Good options though at the moment are NoDriver and CamoFox, which is my current favourite. This is a free and mostly open source option to automate and scrape sites where Playwright and Selenium will fail. If you have time, I'd highly recommend looking into browser detection. Some of the things that are possible there are crazy. You'll have noticed though that these three methods have been focused on actually getting the data, not doing anything with it or parsing, and there's a good reason for that. The single hardest part of web scraping is actually getting the data and scaling that up. Once you have it, be it raw HTML or parsed JSON, it's easy to extract the information that you want. Focus on getting in the door first.